Welcome to another episode of the In the Know series. Today we will be talking about U-value and thermal performance. I'm joined today by Nader, our technical manager, and Terry, our innovation and strategy director. With the government looking at net zero carbon strategies, there's lots of changes to regulations in order to achieve this by 2050. One such regulation is Part L, which looks at the minimum standards buildings must meet for energy efficiency. I'm going to talk today to Nader and Terry to get a little bit more information about what this means for us. So Nader, tell me a little bit about what the changes are to Part L regulations.
So at the beginning, the approved document L is the building regulation standard for saving energy or conservation of fuel and power. In the latest update of this standard, the government has decided to reduce the U-value of basically all the building components. For example, if we're talking about doors here, the U-value of any door was 1.8 before, now it was reduced to 1.6.
So remind me, Nader, what does U-value actually mean?
So the U-value number is the rate of heat transfer from one side to another side to any product, as a door, for example. And this number, as low as it is, will mean better insulation.
So do you mean that the lower the number, the better insulation, and therefore the higher performance of the door?
Correct, Terry. That's it. You explained it better than me.
So Nader, is it always 1.6 for a steel door, or are there any exceptions?
Well, basically, when it comes to doors, there is few exceptions. For example, a high usage entrance door can have a U-value of up to 3 instead of 1.6. Or for example, a fire-rated door, according to the approved document B, it can have a U-value of 1.8 instead of 1.6.
Interesting. So Nader, can a steel door meet these regulations?
Well, at the beginning, it's not easy because as we know, the steel and the metal, by its nature and characteristic, it doesn't have a good thermal performance. That's why it took us around 2 years basically to develop and design a door that has the proper thermal breaks and the proper internal insulation to meet these regulations. And in the same time, when you develop something like this, you have to take into consideration that this door also needs to be fire rated. And these doors also need to have the same design or the same external look of any other Strongdor door. For example, in a building, if you are installing, let's say, fire-rated doors, thermal doors, or any standard door, they should all look the same. And there is another big challenge, which is the weight. So our standard door is 44 millimeter thickness. That's why we worked hard to design a thermal door that has a 44 millimeter thickness, which kept the weight of the door really low and gave a good result in U-value. And at the end, we succeeded to get in some product 1.5 U-value, which is better than what the standard recommend.
So that's a really interesting point you just made, Nader, about the weight of the door. So one way of increasing the thermal performance of a door would be to make the door thicker and therefore put more insulation inside it, which would have a knock-on effect of making the door very heavy. So what you just described is the fact that this door is a 44 mm thick door, which is our standard door thickness, and the insulation inside it is giving it the thermal performance that's needed.
Yes, that's correct. And not just the insulation, but the whole design with the thermal breaks in it can do this job.
So this door is a relatively light door, heavier than our non-insulated door, but still easy to install.
Yes, that's correct. As usual, you explain things better than me.
So Terry, from your side, is there anything else that people should be aware of when looking for a low U-value door?
Yeah, there's quite a few things I think you need to be aware of. And the first thing, of course, is when you see your door and you get delivery of your door, you want to be sure that door does actually have a U-value. So the first place to look is on the label. On the label, especially if it's an external door, it will have on that the declared performance of that door set, and it will show you the U-value of that door. So that's the first place to look. Then you want to be sure that U-value is genuine, in which case you can request from your supplier the summary of results of the U-value testing that they've done, and you can look at that summary of results. The thing to look out for on that summary of results is to make sure it's been done to the correct BSEN standard. The BSEN standard that we're looking for is BSEN 10077-1. That's the standard by which test houses will test these products and will give you the rating that's on that U-value. The second thing to look out for is the word door set. You want to make sure that your door has been tested as a whole door set, not just a through leaf calculation. A through leaf calculation will give you the calculation of what the leaf is, but it won't take into consideration the frame around the outside of the door, which in itself can transmit heat. So look for the word door set, make sure that your door has been tested as a door set, not as a leaf only.
Brilliant, thanks Terry. So Terry, what does the future look like for energy saving initiatives?
Well, the direction of travel is only going in one direction, and that is more thermally efficient doors are going to be required in the future. The government is continually striving to meet the net zero target, and that's why we in our new innovation centre in our R&D department, we're continually developing these doors to try and achieve lower and lower U values.
Thank you for joining us for another of the In the Know series. Thank you very much to Terry and Nader for giving us a really great insight to U value and thermal efficiency.